Welcome to K-Drama Recaps, your one-stop shop for all things K-Drama. If you're new around here, just a heads up, spoilers ahead. With that out of the way, episode 5 opens up with Sunja and Isak arriving in Japan, where they meet up with his brother Yosep. While it's a warm reunion for the two brothers, it's clear that Yosep is not thrilled to see Sunja, let alone her pregnant tummy. As they leave the port and step into the hustle and bustle of Osaka, Sunja is quickly overwhelmed by the sights and sounds she's experiencing for the first time. She listens as the two brothers talk in hushed tones. Yosep advises his brother to speak in Japanese, as there are spies everywhere, and speaking in Korean would just raise suspicion. The trio arrives at home in Ikaino, where young Sunja meets young Kyunghee for the first time. Kyunghee is a generous host and has dinner ready for her new family members. As Sunja opens her bowl, she notices that it's white rice, reminding her of her last meal at home, painstakingly prepared by her mother. As both couples go to bed, we see Yosep confiding his worries to Kyunghee about Sunja. His concern is that Sunja has somehow tricked his brother by taking advantage of his good nature. In the other room, we see Sunja confiding in Isak, and she has already sensed their suspicions. Isak promises her that no matter what, he will be by her side and that she should not worry. With that, they consummate their marriage for the first time. Fast forward a month later, Sunja is super pregnant and as a result accidentally sleeping in and struggling to do her part of the housework. As she goes outside to help Kyunghee, she notices Kyunghee has washed all her clothes. She had not told this to Kyunghee, but she was not washing her clothes on purpose because she had wanted to hold on to the familiar smell of home as long as possible. She asks Kyunghee when the pain of homesickness will end, to which Kyunghee admits to her that it never ends, but that she will learn how to endure it. A little while later, two men who work for the local loan shark appear at the family's home. They inform the two women that Yosep owes 160 yen because he borrowed money to help pay for Isak and Sunja's boat crossing to Japan. To make matters worse, the debt has already doubled due to interest. Sunja decides to take responsibility for the debt since it was only incurred because of her and Isak's passage to Osaka. Kyunghee is unsure it's a good idea to do this without Yosep's consent, but Sunja decides to do it anyway. The two women head to the local pawn shop where Sunja flexes her negotiation skills and is able to sell the watch Kohansu gave her for 300 yen. With the money in hand, they head down to the loan shark's office and get a stamp seal of approval to confirm that the debt has been paid. In another scene, we see Kohansu at the pawn shop that Sunja was just at, buying back his own pocket watch that he had gifted to Sunja. He remarks that Sunja had married someone inferior to her, and for that she will pay dearly. Busan, 1989. Granny Sunja walks through the busy fish market, taking in all the sights, sounds, and smells of the hometown she had not seen for 50 years. It's clear she's excited to be back. Back in Tokyo, Solomon meets an old friend at a dinner party. The subject of Solomon's little stunt with Han Gamja and the implosion of the hotel deal comes up. Solomon is being blackballed from all the banks, along with some unwelcome news that Tom Andrews might be letting him go. This has a lot of implications for Solomon, as we will find out soon enough. As his friend walks away to greet the other guests, Solomon gets some parting intel that he can find Hana in the Yoshiwara area, specifically by the Ugui Sudani stop. Later in a conversation with Naomi, who he coincidentally meets at the same party, he shares the story of his long and sordid past with Hana and what happened between the two of them. Granny Sunja has been busy running all over Busan, spreading Kyunghee's ashes, looking for her father's burial plot that has been moved due to redevelopment of the area, as well as reuniting with Boki, one of the two sisters who worked at her mom's boarding house. They share stories of the hardships they endured over the last 50 years. Life has been hard on both women. The one piece of good news is that Boki had taken it upon herself to be the caretaker for Sunja's father's grave. This enables Sunja to pay respects at her father's grave instead of wondering about what happened to him. After one last bow, she is satisfied and wants to return to her home in Osaka. In a later scene, we see Solomon in Yoshiwara in search of any clues to finding Hana. Instead, he ends up running into a man named Haruki who is friends with his father Mozasu. While the reunion is warm, they part on awkward terms. We aren't told the circumstances of Haruki's past, but it's clear he is not the man Solomon knew before, and he makes Solomon reflect on the question of what makes a man truly happy in life. In the next scene, Solomon calls Tom Andrews but is met with the news that Shifley's is letting him go. Before he can get a word in edgewise, he gets a call from Hana. She desperately wants him to come save her because she doesn't want to die alone. If you enjoyed this episode of K-Drama Recaps, press that like button and subscribe to our channel as this helps our content get out to more eyeballs. Is there a Korean drama that you'd like us to recap? Let us know in the comments below and hopefully we can cover that drama in future episodes. See you in the next episode.